Stanford University.
Well, hello, food enthusiasts. I am thrilled to be here with you today to talk about how you can start fixing our broken food system and still have a thriving career. In fact, I believe that they go hand in hand, and I would encourage you to think about what eats at you, what food problems nag at you every day. Well, my food pain point, came through my kids, Connor and Gavin, and I do everything I can, countless hours to do what's best for them. You know, caring teachers, activities that fuel their passions, great books, and of course, healthy food. So you can imagine my upset when I come to find that when I wasn't with these boys, they were existing on junk or air. More on how I made this discovery in a moment. So, you know, it's not hard to understand how my kids got mired in today's broken food system. We are all bombarded by seductive food that is full of empty calories, but made to taste unbelievably delicious. And they're packaged in this beautiful packaging and set right at eye level on the shelf for kids so they can't help but want it. Do you know what the top 3 snacks are for kids today, 6 to 11? Here's number 1, soda. Then salty snacks, then cookies. Where is fruit? All the way at number 12. So it's no wonder that our kids are growing up with an almost addictive relationship to fake food. And we have an obesity epidemic. 1 out of 3 kids are obese or overweight. 1 out of every 3 kids. And this is the first generation of children at the modern era that might die at a younger age than their parents if we don't turn this trajectory around. So how did I make this discovery about my kids and their food habits? Well, when they were 8 and 5 in 2007, I simply looked in their lunchbox. And I came to find that all of this nutritious food that I was packing was coming home in the box as a ball of uneaten mush. And then the occasional junky treat that I would throw in, it would magically disappear at the end of each day. And they were coming home from school starving. My kids were literally existing on junk or air. And I realized I was fighting for a healthy diet, and I was losing. In fact, the wholesome food that I had was just not on the same equal playing field as all of its unhealthy counterparts. And I realized this food system is messing with my kids, and I was pissed. So I came to find out that my friend Neil Grimmer felt the same way, as well as countless other parents who felt like their good intentions were being undermined by this garbage. So Neil and I started to wonder, could we beat unhealthy food at its own game of shelf appeal, convenience, and great taste? So we built a strategy around it. Create nourishing, yummy food that is beautifully packaged so that we can help kids to feel like they could make healthy food choices without having to make big trade-offs. And from there, the idea of a company called Plum was born with a mission of helping our little ones to develop a lifetime love of healthy eating. So then we thought, okay, what kind of products should we do? And as we were doing this research, Neil found this really cool package in the UK. You see these packages everywhere now, right? About 5 years ago, they really didn't exist. There was one tiny brand in the US, but they sold 500 million of them in the UK and 1 billion of them in China. And we looked at this package and we said, it's colorful, it's shelf stable, and this, most importantly, could deliver pure, delicious food to kids in a way that is fun and easy to eat. And the most important thing is, when we put these in the lunchbox, they magically disappeared. So then we started thinking, okay, well, we want to start kids off on the right nutritional foot from the very start. So we wanted to expand our line for babies. And we started by thinking about packaging. Now, food has been packed in jars since the early 1900s. And in order to keep that product shelf stable, it is cooked beyond recognition. So baby's first taste is tasteless and bland. And we realized that these packages that we had found for kids would be perfect for delivering baby food. Be organic, nutritious, taste delicious, and easy for parents to carry. Not only that, but it held out financial promise for retailers. Retailers were losing money on almost every single one of these jars that they sold, because they're commodity, so they couldn't charge much, and the jars broke, so they had a lot of loss. We started experimenting with these pouches on the shelf and realized they were selling about the same rate as these jars at almost double the price. So now we got retailers on board because they realized they can now make money on this category. And with retailers on board, we would have a real chance of impacting our broken food system. So with the introduction of Plum, it opened up a huge amount of pent-up demand that even Neil and I were shocked by. In fact, the company grew from about $800,000 in 2008 to over $100 million today. And just this past May, we sold Plum to the Campbell Soup Company because we were inspired by the idea that we could reward our team for all their hard work, and very importantly, we can get better food to more kids through their Campbell's vast distribution network. And that would allow us to be able to push the food system even more. However, we realized that we can't just be getting better food to kids whose parents can afford to pack a really healthy meal. It has to go to all kids. And there are 16 million kids today that don't know where their next meal is going to come from. And so we created a program that's called The Full Effect, and through The Full Effect, we created a super smoothie with carrots and oats and spinach and apples in it, and we donated 500,000 of these packages to underserved kids. It's a start. So now you know what inspired me to start Plum. But as you think about your career, it doesn't always go in the perfect path that you planned, and sometimes you come out in a place that you never expected. So when I was 18, if you would have told me I was going to go into the food industry, I would have thought you were crazy. I wanted to be, since I was a teenager, a psychologist. And then my mom told me she couldn't afford to pay, as a single mom, for all of my schooling. So I thought, well, to secure my financial future, I might as well go into business. And, might as well go into the food industry. Why? Because I love food. And especially, I have to say, a fresh sushi dinner with a crisp glass of Chardonnay. Oh, it's become this family tradition for us. Let's face it, food is part of our everyday life. It nourishes us, it brings us joy, it brings families and communities together. So I started to work for these multinationals, and I always felt like I had sold out. I felt like business was selfish, it was all about making money. So when I saw an ad to start a brand management function at Cliff Bar, I jumped at the chance because it was a product I was passionate about. And I ended up spending 10 wonderful years at Cliff Bar, 3 as CEO. And at Cliff Bar, we made choices that positively impacted people and the planet. In the year 2000, we moved to 70% organic ingredients, even though we didn't know if we would be able to sell more, and it costed a lot more. We had personal trainers for our employees. We had masseuses for our employees. And what I realized is that business could be such a positive force for change. And that's when I decided I had to start my own company. So for you as students, for those of you who are looking to get into the food world and shake it up, right on, go for it. But how do you do it when you're not already in the food industry? Start talking to people in the food industry right now while you're still in school. Knowing people opens doors. And I don't have to tell you, the Stanford Network is brimming with amazing people who want to help you, especially as a student, because they feel like they're giving back. So think about how you can connect with people and relax. Think about just having a conversation. You're talking about what inspires people, you're talking about food, and set yourself a goal of meeting with 1 or 2 people a week, and you will have a huge community of people who will be there to help you when you're ready to create change. So, my calling became beyond food or air because it was threatening the people that I love. What is yours? Thank you.
For more, please visit us at stanford.edu.